What's up, Red Devils? It's that time of year again. This weekend is the opening for the 2016-2017 Barclays Premier League, and quite frankly, I have never been happier. I don't have the weekend off because life sucks that way, but I will at least get to watch the United game on Sunday, so that's all that really matters. I had originally planned on doing the season preview as a separate video and then the Bournemouth preview. I'm a lazy piece of shit. I'm going to do them all at one time, so we're just going to have to deal with that. Alright, so going into the season, everyone knows what we're going to talk about. Transfers. I have been a United fan for pretty much as long as you'd expect an American to be able to be. That's pretty much been since the Glazers took over, and I have never once been this excited for a transfer window. I mean, we all knew Ibra was happening. Like, let's be real here. That was the worst kept secret in football. But then just to follow it up with Eric Bailly, who I was a fan of. I liked his aggressiveness. I liked his pace. I just liked his overall ability to just basically be a badass. And he's shown throughout the preseason that he's more than capable of doing that. You throw that in and then followed it up with Henrik Mkhitaryan. As soon as I heard the rumor, I said, bullshit. Absolutely not going to happen. And that's not even the biggest bullshit I had this summer. But phenomenal player. He's a tricky winger. He can score goals. He's two-footed. I mean, he will offer pretty much everything we could possibly want on the right side. I would say he's the second best right mid in the world, behind, obviously, Bale. Well, I guess Messi, but we don't count him. He kind of a douche. So yeah, it's going to be significant improvements on the right side that, quite frankly, Lingard did an okay job in last year, but he still has a lot to work out before he can really be considered United's starting quality. And then, the piece de resistance, Paul motherfucking Pogba. I never, even in my wildest dreams, thought Pogba would come back. Even with Champions League coming off a title, didn't think it would happen. No way. Madrid, all the way, I thought he was 100% already bought a home, packing his bags, and walking there. But somehow, some way, he's going to be suiting up in a United jersey this year. And quite frankly, I'm fucking still at a loss for words on how to properly describe it. But he's going to make our team significantly better. And quite frankly, that's all that we really should care about. The one thing that is a problem with Pogba is the fact that Mourinho is going to insist on playing Wayne Rooney. So, everyone knows I'm not a fan of Wayne Rooney. Last year, was a fan of Michael Carrick. However, I think Carrick still has a huge role to play in this team, but not with a two-man midfield. I think, quite frankly, Pogba is far too attacking, and Carrick just can't do the job by himself. But because of Mo's insistence on playing Rooney, it's going to be a huge issue this year. And hopefully, unlike what happened with Van Gaal, just sticking with Rooney because he has that C on his arm, Mo will realize the mistake and just kind of move on and let us play to our full potential. Now, the starting lineup this year, probably going to be pretty consistent. Mo isn't known to tinker or experiment too much. He's going to kind of have that 11 that he's going to stick to and just kind of plug and chug as he needs to fix things. So obviously, our big man, Spanish Dave in net, Luke Shaw, who, let's be real here, at this point is pretty much a new signing, and one I am so happy to have there, because Marcos Rojo is fucking terrible. Just terrible. Center back pairing of Smalling and Bailly, probably, more than likely, unless Mo pulls a cat out of the bag and like signs Bonucci or something, but doubt that's gonna happen. And on the right, as of right now, it's looking like Valencia. I'm expecting him to start pretty much all except for the games against the likes of City, where Mo is known to park the bus. I think Darmian, just being an all-around better defensive player, will get the nods for those games, but for probably about 80% of our games, Valencia will start. The midfield I'm hoping to see is going to be Pogba and Schneiderlin. I think Morgan offers the legs and the defensive ability that you don't get from Carrick, while still offering some ability as a passer. Obviously, no one on our team can really match what Carrick can do as a passer, but Morgan's about as complete of a package as we're going to get in that second spot. Obviously, Paul's going to play. He's top 5 midfielder in the world, world record signing, and the best player on our team. On the right, Henrique, obviously, left. It's going to stay with Marshall. Unfortunately, at the 10, we're going to have to endure Rooney basically letting the ball bounce off of him and seeing how far he can let it roll until the other team takes it. And up front, the man, the myth, the legend, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ibra is pretty much the perfect combination of a poacher and a kind of a just all-around target man. He's got height, he's got strength, so he really contributes to build up. He does come back for the ball quite a bit, which is kind of a problem because him and Rooney both have that same mentality and they kind of leave a giant hole in the middle of our attack. But overall, Zlatan just contributes so much in the attack that he can do whatever the fuck he wants. As we saw against Leicester, he's an aerial threat. He's a poacher's poacher. He will be in the box. He will always tuck away those one-hit finishes. And he'll just generally cause headaches and allow, just due to his frame and his notoriety, in essence, he will allow a lot of space for the 3 people right behind him. And that'll also open up a lot more space for Pogba to make those runs and kind of get those shots off in the 25 to 30 yard range, which is going to be a key element to our game because last year we were very predictable in what we were going to do, and teams, quite frankly, just didn't respect that long. So come the conclusion of the season, I am fully expecting to see the 2 Manchester teams on top. I personally think City have slightly more quality all over the pitch than we do, but as a cumulative whole, we're not too far behind. And I think due to the summer that we're going to be having, that we truly will be able to kind of ride that wave of energy and emotion to a great start to the season. Smalling and Pogba are both going to come back in the same game, and that's just going to rocket our team's energy and morale and even quality. And I think we're going to really just be able to get the ball rolling. Mourinho plays pretty defensive still, so a lot of what Van Gaal kind of instilled in the team in that aspect will still be usable and salvageable, so he won't quite have as much to change about the team. By the time we play City for that first match, Mo is going to be pretty well in hand with what he wants to do, whereas Pep's going to still be instilling a lot of those principles and kind of what he wants from his team. And I think we'll be able to beat them, and that'll just kind of let us continue to grow onto this good start I'm expecting. So like I said, I expect United to finish on top this season, and at the very least finish second. City will either finish second or first, depending on where we do. I feel like Chelsea are going to go third. Antonio Conte is going to make that team a complete pain in the ass to play against. He's defensively sound. He's good at hitting on the counter. He can work with mediocrity. He's going to be excited to have the great players that Chelsea has. But I think that just due to the sheer lack of signings this summer in key places, they need a new center back. They need 2 new fullbacks. I just don't think the squad has the quality to really challenge the top 2. 4th and 5th, they're going to be one of the 2 North London faggots. 6th, 7th, and 8th are going to be a toss-up really between Liverpool, Everton, and West Ham. 3 teams that got pretty decent amount of quality. However, I just don't think they have the talent overall to really push the top 5 out. And then going into the bottom of the table, I personally think that the 3 newly promoted teams are going to be the ones that go back down. They just don't really have the money available and haven't really increased their depth enough to make a lasting impression and be able to stay in the league. The only one that may be different will be Middlesbrough. They have added a significant amount of depth and signed some pretty shrewd signings in Negredo and Valdez. So it will be nice to see what they can do with that. Really, the only Premier League team I see truly struggling will be Swansea. They're just in a nosedive right now. They've sold Williams, they sold Ayew, they signed some random-ass striker from Atletico. So I really just don't see things going well for them. So if the Premier League team does end up going down, I feel like it will be them. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the season preview. Let's go on to Bournemouth. I expect a substantial difference from the last times we played Bournemouth. The first time we played them last year, we fucking lost in the most miserable game I have ever seen. I mean, they scored on a fucking direct corner. Like, that was just pretty much sums up how that game went for us. Um, Coming into the season, Bournemouth do have, similar to us, basically a new signing and an old signing, and that's going to be Callum Wilson coming back from that ACL injury. That's going to be, he was pretty much a key factor to them getting promoted a couple years ago, and they really, really missed him last year, and you could tell from how kind of just stagnant that attack got after his ACL injury. He's a good finisher, got plenty of pace, and he'll probably be really the only true threat to our back line. And then going back to their actual new signings, they have Lewis Cook and Emerson Hyman. That'll be interesting and kind of good young players to watch this season. I don't expect Hyman to start this game. He's a decent young American talent who's been rotting away at Fulham. He's a very kind of creative dribbling center mid, kind of in that Iniesta mold, and just really wasn't suited to the type of battle that you have in the championship. Lewis Cook is a pretty damn good English talent. They signed him this summer from Leeds. I expect him to see playing time, maybe even tomorrow, in kind of more of a box-to-box CM role. As with pretty much all the time when we do play against those lower tier teams in the league, I fully expect them to just kind of sit back and defend and then just try to hit us on the break. Luckily with Bay, we will not be really susceptible to anything on the break. It's going to start off probably as a pretty boring game. We're going to be a little erratic due to the lack of real match times, seeing as we only got a couple preseason games this year. I expect us to probably score early in the second half or at the end of the first half to kind of break that deadlock, and as the game opens up, United will probably run away with it. So I'm going to predict 3-1. Hopefully a nice solid win. Some good finishing from a couple of our new guys and just kind of get confidence rolling. Hopefully a goal from Martial because he's been pretty meh this summer. And hopefully this good solid win will kind of give us a nice little jump start into the season and we'll be able to just keep the ball rolling from there. So that's pretty much all I got for this one. I'll do a video after the game to kind of bitch and moan or celebrate or something. So if you guys feel like it, give me a like, drop a comment if you got something to say, and if you just felt tickled, go ahead and give a subscribe. Thanks.